10th Physical Science Lesson Chemical Bonding. Topic Electron Theory of Valence by Lewis and Kossel. Kossel and Lewis, scientists, sat in periodic table. All group of elements try to get octet electron configuration in the outer shell on the basis of the lack of chemical activity of noble gases, which led to the proposal of octet rule. Noble gases electron configuration ns2 np6. So there is a no gap in the subcells of the noble gases atoms, and noble gases not interested to involve in the chemical reactions. Always they getting the octet position and stable position. So the remaining elements in the periodic table also getting the stable position and octet position as a noble gases. Group 1 elements lithium to cesium elements are there in the first group. These group 1 elements lost one electron and gets the octet position. For example, sodium atomic number 11, electron configuration 281. So sodium lost one electron and getting the octet element. So when sodium lost one electron, it is called unipositive ions. Group 2 elements magnesium to barium. For example, magnesium atomic number 12, electron configuration 282. Magnesium lost 2 electrons and getting the 8 electrons, it is called octet positions. Group 2 elements lost 2 electrons and get the octet positions. 2 electrons lost by the magnesium, it is called dipositive ions. Group 13, boron to thallium elements are there in the 13th group. For example, aluminium atomic number 13, electron configuration 283. Aluminium lost 3 electrons and getting the 8 electrons in the outer shell, so it is a octet positions. When aluminium lost 3 electrons, it is called tripositive ions. So 13 group elements lost 3 electrons and gets the octet positions. Group 16, oxygen to livermorium elements are there in the group 16. For example, oxygen atomic number 8, electron configuration 26, oxygen gained 2 electrons and getting the octet positions. So group 16 elements gain 2 electrons and form di-negative anions. When oxygen gain 2 electrons, it is called di-negative anions. Next, group 17, fluorine to astatine elements are present in the group 17. For example, fluorine atomic number 9, electron configuration 27. So here fluorine gained 1 electron and getting the octet positions. So 17 group elements gained 1 electron and form unianions for getting octet positions. Group 18. Group 18 elements are called noble gases. Noble gases do not get loss or gain electrons. Suppose neon atomic number 10, electron configuration 28. So outer shell contains 8 cells. So it is in a stable position and getting the octet position. So no electron gain or loss from the neon atom. So here is the table. Elements are there in the table. So left side the elements gain electrons and right side the elements lost the electrons. In the middle noble gases are there, they are getting the magic octet, not gain the electrons and not lost the electrons. And when we see the right side, first group, second group, 13 group elements are there. First group sodium, potassium. So these first group elements are lost one electron and getting the octet positions. Second group elements magnesium, calcium. So these second group elements lost 2 electrons and getting the octet positions. Next one, 13 group elements aluminum, gallium. So these 13 group elements lost 3 electrons and getting the octet positions. In left side 15, 16, 17 groups elements are there. 15 groups 19 nitrogen, phosphorus. These 15 group elements gain the 3 electrons and getting the octet positions. 16th group oxygen, sulfur. So these 16th group elements gain the 2 electrons and getting the octet positions. 17th group of elements fluorine, chlorine. So these groups 17th group elements gain the 1 electron and getting the octet positions. So when the elements gain the electrons, that elements are called non-metals. When the metals lost the electrons, that elements are called metals. So metals lost electrons and getting the octet position, and that same to noble gases. And non-metals gain the electrons and getting the octet position. So it is also similar to the noble gases. So 8 electrons in the outermost cell give stability to ion or atom based on the above observation statement known as the octet rule is formed. So here metals and non-metals, they are lost electrons and gain electrons for getting the octet position as a noble gases. So it is framed as a octet rule. Octet rule. The atoms of elements tend to undergo chemical changes that help to leave their atoms with 8 outer shell electrons. So when the atoms of elements involved in the chemical change, automatically the elements lost the electrons and gain the electrons and getting the 8 electrons in the outer shell and getting the stability. Lewis depicted the atom in terms of positively charged kernel and outer shell accommodated with 8 electrons. Kernel means nucleus and electrons in inner shell. So here we can see the atom. So inside the atom, the nucleus is there at the center of the atom, and between the nucleus and outermost cell, the cells are called inner cells. So the nucleus and inner cells are called kernel. Okay, so Lewis depicted the atom in the term of positively charged kernel. So nucleus and inner shell are called kernel, and the outermost shell contain the 8 electrons. The force of attraction between two atoms that result a stable entity is called chemical bond. So here we can see the two hydrogen atoms. So these two hydrogen atoms comes together forming a H2 molecule. So here we can see the force of attraction between the two hydrogen atoms and forming the chemical bond between the H2 molecule. So it is called chemical bond. Okay.